Amy's Life. Chapter 8. Near Amy was a small tree, with flowers on it. There were 3 gardeners by the tree. Be careful, 5. One of them said. I'm always careful, 7, answered 5. Amy went to them. What are you doing? She asked. We're making the flowers red, one of the gardeners said. That's strange, thought Amy. Why? She asked. The 3 men looked unhappy. You tell her, 7, 5 said. No, said 7, you tell her, 2. Well, miss, the queen wanted trees, with red flowers on them. But this tree's got white flowers. We don't want the queen to see it. She will be very angry, and cut off our heads. So we're making the flowers red, before she sees them. Oh no! 5 shouted suddenly. The queen! The queen! The 3 gardeners fell to the ground, with their faces down. Amy heard the sound of many feet, and turned round. Oh good, she thought. Now I'll see the queen. First, 10 men with clubs in their hands came into the garden. Next came the king's men. There were 10 of them, and they had red diamonds on their clothes. The children of the king and queen came next, all with red hearts. After them, there were a lot more people. Most of them were kings and queens. The white rabbit was there, but he didn't see Amy. The knave of hearts came next. Last of all were the king and queen of hearts. Amy waited. She thought, I won't speak to it before it has its ears, or perhaps 1 ear. In another minute, she could see its ears and eyes. Do you like the queen? The cat asked. I don't, said Amy. But then she saw the queen. She was very near Amy. She's wonderful, said Amy. The queen smiled, and moved away. But the king saw the cats, and came to Amy. Who are you talking to? He asked. It's a friend, a Cheshire cat, answered Amy. The king looked carefully at the cat. I don't like it, said the king. Well, I don't like you, said the cat. That's not polite, said the king and got behind Amy. Amy said, a cat can look at a king. I read that in a book, I think. Well, this cat has to go, said the king. He called to the queen, my dear, I don't like this cat. The queen had only one answer to problems. Cut off its head. She shouted loudly. She didn't look at the cat. The king smiled happily. After a short time, there were a lot of people round the cat. There was the king and queen, and a man with a very long knife in his hand. How can I cut off its head? Asked the man with the knife. I can't do it and I'm not going to. Oh yes you are, said the king. It's got a head, so you can cut it off. Do something now, or I'll cut off everybody's head, said the queen angrily. What do you think? The king asked Amy. Amy thought for a minute. Then she said, it's the Duchess's cat. Ask her about it. Bring the Duchess here, the queen said. Then, the Cheshire cat's head started to vanish. Somebody came back with the Duchess. But now there was nothing above Amy's head, not an eye, or an ear, or a smile. The king looked for the cat for some time, but he couldn't find it anywhere. Come for a walk, you dear thing, the Duchess said to Amy. She put her arm through Amy's and they walked through the garden. She's very friendly to me, thought Amy. Perhaps when the cook isn't there, she's nice. When I'm a duchess, I'm going to be kind to my children. Are you thinking? Asked the Duchess. You have to talk to me, you know. All right, said Amy. She could hear the Queen, at the other end of the garden. Cut off her head. Cut off his head, she shouted, every 2 or 3 minutes. Will they cut off your head? Amy asked the Duchess. Oh no, they never cut off anybody's head. The Queen likes saying it, but she never does it. Amy wanted to ask more questions, but they heard a cry. The trial is beginning. What trial is it? Amy asked. The Duchess didn't answer, and started to run. Her arm was in Amy's, so Amy ran too. For more videos, subscribe and like my channel.